Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the Phantom Tollbooth Cornerstone 2008 press tent. Joining us this afternoon are all the folks from Ugg Records, bands like Riley and Generation Letter, and who else do we have?
West Coast Revival.
West Coast Revival. Here's Ugg Records with your host and moderator, Jonathan Dix.
Thank you. Welcome back again to the Phantom Tollbooth press tent. Let me go ahead and, your name is?
Steve.
Steve, okay. And so you run the label for Ugg Records?
I do.
And what does Ugg stand for?
Ugg stands for Underground Grace. It was a label we started about 2 years ago as a platform for developing bands within the family of churches we're in, which is called Sovereign Grace Ministries. And so West Coast Revival was the first project we released, and since that time we've come alongside to work with Riley and Generation Letter as well.
Now, is Sovereign Grace based in California?
No, actually out of Gaithersburg, Maryland.
Okay.
Ugg Records headquarters, though, is in Orlando. And the bands are all across the country.
Okay. Okay, I wasn't sure that, because I know like some of them are from California, different places.
Yeah,
or...
we've got Pasadena, California, we've got Orlando, we've got Philadelphia.
Okay.
Here with us this week.
Well, here's the band Riley. Go ahead, down the line, can you introduce yourself, what instruments you play with the band?
Okay. Hey, my name is John O'Reilly. I play the rhythm guitar and sing.
I am Noelle Paris-Huey, and I sing backup. I play violin primarily, and I play keys as well.
My name is Dan Huey. I play violin and electric guitar.
My name is Kyle Toman. I play drums.
Matthew Bomberger. I play bass guitar and sing background vocal.
Now, like, okay, this may be more of a personal question for me, but I have an 11-year-old daughter who's taking violin lessons and wants to give it up and play electric guitar instead or something. Just like,
do it. Just kidding.
If it were drums, maybe.
You know, if I had a nickel for every kid that said I used to play the violin and I gave it up and now I wish I didn't, so I don't know, tell her to practice, but if she doesn't love it, you know, she shouldn't stick with it, but it's rewarding. It's a lot of work.
Well, I'm just thinking there's if she wants to play music, she can play some with a rock band if she really wants to.
She can totally play violin in a rock band.
Yeah, we've got two of them, so I guess we have the monopoly on violin rock players. But yeah, one of the cool things is having that classical background just prepares you more and more to endeavor into modern rock, improv music. And so yeah, it's encouraging that there are musicians, whether it's violins, cellos, horn instruments, that you can adapt that to this great mix of music that's out there today.
Well, yeah, I think it's always great to have a better understanding of music entirely, more than just one instrument. So I think it's a great, enjoyable sound. How would you really classify yourself other than playing like some worship music? Is there more to your sound than just that?
Well, the best way that we classify our music is violin rock. What we mean by that is there's sort of an Americana indie rock base, but I guess what separates us from similar sounding bands is the usage of two violins. So we have an orchestrated sort of symphonic element to our music. And Dan and Noelle are married, and there's just a nice chemistry, both as you see them play together and also as they write their lines together. So just a neat way it works together.
Now, when it comes to composing music for the band, what's your process for that? Will somebody usually try and pick some lyrics, they put music, or music first? Do you write strings later? How does that work?
Well, the way it's been working is I'll write a song. I'll usually get some feedback from Matthew, our bass player, who gives great feedback on lyrical content. And a song will be maybe 80 to 90% done, and then these guys will come in and give some feedback and then orchestrate around the song just to develop it a little bit more, add some motifs, and then some developments of those motifs later on. But that's pretty much how it works.
And how did you guys come to the attention of Ugg Records?
Steve, really. Steve just kind of started up Ugg, I guess it was a couple of years back, right? And he just wanted to see if we were interested in working with him and partnering with him. So here we are.
Okay, yeah, when are you guys playing around Cornerstone? Have you already played yet at all, or?
Yeah, we played at the Indie Community Stage yesterday.
Okay.
320 went very well, and today we'll be playing once again at 4 o'clock on the Encore 2 stage. So, if you want to hear what violin rock sounds like, come out at 4 o'clock, and we've got the whole roster coming out. WCR, West Coast Revival, and also Generation Letter playing during that same slot.
Just for a backer, what would you say are some of the other band members who give a chance to talk a little bit? What are some of your musical influences that you bring to the band?
We're kind of an eclectic group. I like indie rock bands. Like I like Me Without You, which is another Philadelphia bass band. I like Sufjan Stevens a lot. I like actually Death Cab for Cutie is a band I appreciate. Ben Gibbert's lyrics, just very picture, image-driven lyrics. So, you know, if I bring a songwriting component to the band, it's more in the area of lyrical development. John will shoot me lyrics, so we kind of go back and forth, trying to develop them and bring an artistic eye on that, but also kind of a theological, you know, eye to it to make sure we're saying what we really want to say, you know, about God. And I do graphic design for the band too, which is, you know, it's nice to kind of have control of that component as well. So, anybody else?
I don't know, in terms of musical influences, I mean, just similar to the bands Matthew was mentioning, I think I'm into a lot of those bands. It's very eclectic sounds. I think we all have our own individual favorite bands, and they're all very, very different, which makes an interesting mix when we come together, and that translates on stage. So.
Does the driver of the van get to pick the music? Is that how that works?
Yes, we have to trade off on our musical tastes.
And a little story about that. Matthew, who plays bass and does our graphic work, is really into church history. He loves studying theology, which is very admirable and honorable, but he loves church history. And we're talking just listening to CDs of tapes of this guy's monotone voice just talking about every single year that goes by. And what's surprising is that's great fodder for us to go to sleep during. Yeah. But that keeps Matthew full alert, so he usually takes a 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. shift, which is like the worst shift you can take, but you just put in the church history tape and he's good to go.
The hours fly.
Everyone else is out.
The hours fly.
It's wonderful.
We actually also play a game on the road, and it goes like this. The person driving is in control of the iPod, right? And then you pick a song out of any category, and then you call out a passenger's name. So I'll be driving, right? And I'll put on Michael Jackson, right? It'll be like, doom, 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 and I'll say, Dan. And then Dan has to act like the DJ and talk all the way up until the music, the lyrics start.
Yeah, we have to do the
as if we're doing a
pre-roll.
live show, like the pre-roll. It's
Yeah.
hilarious what kind of things happen with that. I'm really bad at it. Noel may be worse. But Dan's pretty good at it.
Yeah. Do we have one of those, Michael?
Well, I want to thank you guys. Let's bring on the next band. So everybody clap here for Riley. That was
While we bring on the next band, how about if we hear from Riley?
Yeah,
Does that
let's
sound
clap a
good,
little
Steve?
bit.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. This is Riley. Limited Time is the name of the song, is that not correct?
Yeah.
Yes,
I'll do the
okay.
pre-roll for this.
Okay, well, actually, I can't have the mics open and the iPod at the same time, so go ahead and give us an introduction to the tune.
I'll just do it for fun.
Limited Time. Go.
Here we are, WKCS 94.4 at Cornerstone International. We got Riley coming up. Check it out. We got a contest, so call in with you. Request your number. All right, it kind of doesn't work without the music, so.
Sorry.
All right.
I've got a limited board here, so
Limited
ladies and
time.
gentlemen, limited time. This is Riley. How about a hand for him?
Spinning round and round, wondering what is up and what is
let June decide. That's Riley with Limited Time. Back to you, Jonathan.
And now back here, we are up here with Generation Letter, so another Ugg record band. So Steve, do you want to give a short introduction to the band real quick? One of the members?
We are Generation Letter from Orlando, Florida, on Ugg Records. And we are alternative rock, and we love Jesus Christ. My name is George Romanacci, and I sing and play rhythm guitar.
My name's John Ripley. I play drums, and they don't let me sing.
My name's Alex, and I play guitar and mind games with the other band members.
I'm Steven. I play electric guitar and backing vocals.
I'm Joey Phillips, and I play the bass.
Jake Phillips, and I play keyboard.
Yeah, I want to say first off, this kind of stands out a little bit. There's somebody here who looks a little older than everybody else. So I just wonder how John got hooked up into doing some alternative rock with you guys.
We just really loved his maturity, and also the fact that he's a mortgage lender, and that helps with my interest rate for my house. So no, he's just a great drummer and a great guy. He loves the Lord, and we just thought it would be a great opportunity to have him in the band.
Now, as a mortgage lender, do you need a second job or something nowadays, or is that why?
We're actually, we do a lot of radio work, so we're pretty busy all the time.
Well, have you guys played Cornerstone already? Gonna play some more? I guess you're playing this afternoon after Riley?
We played once on the indie community stage on Tuesday, right? Yeah, Tuesday. And then we're playing today after Riley at 4:45 on the Encore 2 is one of the Ugg Showcase, so check us out.
Now, you guys actually came out of the Sovereign Grace Ministries. Is that how you guys all met together?
Yeah, we were all in the same church in Orlando, Florida, called Metro Life Church, and we've all been in different bands and stuff. And Steve approached George to start up this band, and he got us all together. And some of us came in a little earlier, and some of us came a little later. But now we're all together, and we're a big, happy family.
So now, do you do anything really, how do you stay in touch with your home church in Orlando when you're on the road? Are there certain things you do to kind of keep grounded?
George pretty much calls the pastor every morning and tells him what we did during the day just to make sure we don't screw up.
No, actually, our worship leader of the church, we are very close with him. He's kind of overseeing us accountability-wise and in different aspects. So we just, keep a close touch with him, give him updates, and if we have any problems or questions, we call him up, and he's always happy to serve us that way. He's a great guy. So
I want to say, as a group, when you're on the road, how do you guys try to keep your faith grounded? I mean, do you guys ever do some devotionals together? How's your practice on that as a band?
We usually pray every morning together, and we've tried to have devotions together and do some worship and stuff. We like to debate a lot of theology because we have some pastor's kids on the end over there, and so we're always debating on certain theological issues. So that always keeps us grounded, even though we're debating.
We're also you got a big group of guys to have in a band. Does anything get a little rowdy on the road sometimes, or just a little stressful?
We have two vans so that we can keep the ones that are fighting separated from the ones in the two vans.
Do you have problems with the brothers down there? Do they kind of squabble a little bit?
All the time.
Actually, the other day we came outside after we played Creation Festival, and we were leaving Pennsylvania to come here, and I found them wrestling on the front lawn. I don't know why, for like 5 minutes.
He was trying to steal my iPod, and I couldn't let him have it, so.
Well, I wanted to ask what's your writing style? I mean, is there someone who, how do you guys come down to making a song together? How does that work?
Well, we pretty much are all writers. Well, they bring sort of like the theology stuff to the band when we don't really know what we're talking about. But John here has written some of our best songs, or at least one of our best songs. And George and Alex and I do a lot of the introductory writing, whereas we'll come up with a melody or the form of a song, and then we'll bring it to everyone else, and then they'll add the beef and the potatoes, which are the other stuff that you add to the song.
interesting little family connection. If you saw, you may not have seen it, but we have a promo. It's been playing on the big stage, and the guy is a President Bush impersonator. Well, that's Stevens with Bandana's dad, who's been doing this for how long now?
Well, Dad's been a presidential impersonator since the second election, when he was reelected, when Bush was reelected, and he's done a whole bunch of crazy stuff like that, traveling the world. He's pretty funny.
Does he get to be like a presidential decoy then, or is he just doing?
Well, a funny story, we were in New York City a couple years back, me and Alex and my family, for a film festival I was in, and there was a day when nothing was going on and we weren't doing any film stuff, so Dad was like, well, let's just go try to get on TV. And so he put on his stuff, and me and Alex put on some black suits, and we got on like the Linda Vester show and a couple other shows, just randomly walking up there because people were like, oh my gosh, the president. But we got off the subway at some point, and I had never been in New York City, so I didn't know where the subways went. And we got off, and there was an anti-war rally going on. And we get off, and this police officer just kind of looks at us for a second, and he goes, I don't know who you are, but you probably want to get back on the subway and keep going, because this is the place to be. So that was an interesting time.
You were doing a film festival, was it?
Yeah, I do like the digital media for the band, sort of. I put together the video that's up there, because it's my dad, he's able to do that stuff. But I've been making movies for a long time and short films, and so a couple of my short films got selected for a New York Film Festival. No big deal.
Have you been enjoying the Imaginarium at all then, when you've been here?
Well, they keep me pretty much at the merch booth a lot, so not really.
Well, I want to thank you guys. That is Generation Letter. Let's try we'll play a little sample here of some music. If Dave can get back to the master control booth.
Oh, please.
And we'll bring up West Coast Revival.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Generation Letter. Always Near is the name of the song.
I can hear you
That was Generation Letter. And Jonathan, it's back to you with West Coast Revival.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan. I just wanted to welcome the members of Generation Letter. Go ahead and say who you are and what you play with the band. We only got 3 of them here right now, but go ahead.
Ryan Barrett, lead vocals, piano.
Jonathan Barrett, guitar, backing.
Aaron Baird, and I play the guitar and the bass and the drums all at once.
Now, I want to say there's some similarities to the last name, so just to make clear to everybody, Gad, you're all brothers,
Yes,
right?
we are 3 brothers.
3 brothers in a band.
I'm the adopted one. I'm just kidding.
So, were Mom and Dad happy to see you guys form a band all together? Was that sort of a stressful thing?
They definitely were stoked.
It was almost mandatory. We grew up with music in the house, so.
Our dad has majored in music in high school and college, and started out as a worship pastor, and he's still kind of a worship pastor, but yeah, I mean, we grew up with music around the house, playing on pots and pans and playing guitar on the tennis racket, basically.
So now you guys are based out of LA now, or Hollywood? Where is it?
Pasadena, California.
Okay. So how did you pick up the other members of the band?
They all go to the church there.
Okay, which church is that?
Pasadena, it's in Pasadena, California. It's called Sovereign Grace Pasadena. So it's part of the member of churches that Steve was talking about.
Okay. And what made you guys decide to form a band and join with Ugg Records and go out on tour?
Well, we had a band and we've been writing songs for a long time. We focus on songwriting, and I think Steve came alongside us to help us with songwriting way early on. So when he started Ugg Records, I mean, we were right on board with him as soon as he started, and encouraged him to start it. We were stoked to work with him, so it's been good so far.
All 3 of us have written songs that have been on Sovereign Grace Ministries CDs. So before there was even really a band, a lot of the few of the songs that we've written have been on other CDs. So it was kind of a natural step for us to form. Now these guys formed the band before I was in it. I joined it in '04. So, but it was kind of a natural step for us to, you know, kind of take songwriting, seeing a few of the songs kind of go out, maybe start a band and craft the songs on our own, start playing them. So it was kind of a natural thing from there.
You know, some would say you need a little conflict when you're doing some songwriting. You need to have some strong feelings to bring together. How does it work being brothers? You've grown up together. How does it work to be in a band together and on the road?
It works perfect because we're so used to conflict as brothers that we just continue that with songwriting and we fight like crazy. I think it's good because it seems like the best idea wins is kind of our motto. So, and when no one's afraid to say what they think, so it works out.
There's a freedom of like criticism that's kind of nice because it does allow only for a pretty good idea to get through, and we're brothers, so we can't like not be friends or hang around each other anymore. So it's like if we do offend each other, we kind of have to resolve it. So it's a nice little built-in deal.
I want to say you're probably glad your parents moved away from the Arizona desert, moved out to the coast of California. So I guess you picked up the surfing bug. You want to talk a little bit about that?
As young kids in Arizona, most people in Arizona vacation in California. So basically for a month out of the summer, we would be camping at the beach anyways. So I picked up surfing kind of that way. And then most kids, like we moved after my junior year of high school, we moved. And most times, you know, a kid going into his senior year, after having lived in Phoenix his whole life, I would be fairly dramatic, not necessarily wanting to do that. I was stoked, to use the term. I was completely happy to move to California and do my senior year there, serve 2-3 times a week, other than 1 month during the summer. So, and I don't serve 2 or 3 times a week now, but well, I probably serve 1 to 2 times a week still. So.
I also wanted to ask, what kind of sets you apart from some other bands? What would you say is the different sound that you have?
Well, here, it's a pretty dramatic difference from what I've been hearing walking around. We don't scream. That's one thing that sets us apart. I'm not opposed to screaming. Screaming's fine, but we don't scream. It's definitely a little more rock. There's melodic vocals. So anyways.
I'd say one thing is we really, really work hard on our words. I mean, I'd say we probably put that as first importance, and we really pick apart everything. And like I said, I don't think we've ever come up with an idea that didn't get thrown away and recycled a million times before it finally made it in. I think it seems to set us apart from some bands. I think just how hard we work on specific lyrically. I think every band works really hard, period. But lyrically, it seems like we do a lot.
We strive for lyrical freshness. We want to write songs that are more than just Jesus is my best buddy and we're gonna go take the world for God. It's like we want more than that. We want to write about more subjects, delve into the depths of who Christ was, his sacrifice for us, what it means, how it affects our daily lives. We want to just go deeper.
Well, I want to thank you guys. I think we're just about out of time. So if Dan, the magical mixer board man, could play a song, and we'll say thanks for having West Coast Revival. And also thanks to Ugg Records for bringing the bands by.
Ugg Records, ladies and gentlemen. Your label showcase is this afternoon at what time? 4 o'clock, Encore 2? Indeed it is. Make sure you check them out. This is certainly some enjoyable music. This is West Coast Revival with Wonders of Christ Crucified.